You're joined by a very special guest, Dr. Akhilesh Gupta, Senior Advisor and Head, STIP Department of Science and Technology. We'll be talking on role of STIP in shaping research and innovation ecosystem in India's higher education institutions. Over to you, Dr. Akhilesh Gupta. Always a pleasure welcoming you and listening to you and learn from you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Shobit, and I'm so sorry. There was some issue on my side, some technical issue. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
And can you see my slide on the screen? Are you able to
Uh,
see that?
yes, we can see it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thanks so much for
You can just
inviting
simply put
me
it
to
on the
this.
full screen mode.
Yeah, it is, and from my side, it is full screen. I don't know if it is not seen full screen at your
Okay,
end.
fine, no issues, sir. You can go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, let me at the outset, thank APAC for having invited me. Uh, I think today's discussion is primarily being focused on the national education policy, and supplement to that, or rather, the line with that is the new science and technology innovation policy that has been already formulated and is going to be released shortly. And since I headed this formulation secretariat, I thought let me put my perspective on how this new policy is going to shape the research and innovation ecosystem in the higher education institution. Let me give a kind of outline of how India has performed globally in STI area. So look at this slide, it's showing that India's gross expenditure became three times in last 10 years. We have become the second largest number of graduates in science and engineering in the world. We in fact became the third position in terms of number of publication in SCI journals, third position in terms of number of PhD in science and engineering, third position in terms of startup, and fourth position in terms of unicorn. So these are the development that has taken place in recent years itself. I'm talking about past 6 to 7 years. And look at the way the science publications have improved over the time, and we are now 1,61,000 publication during 2019. Similarly, if you look at the increase in the number of startup that has taken place, a very important development that is seen that the number of engineering and technology students is showing increase. But what is very depressing is that the number of women scientists
Yeah.
and women going into science and engineering field is actually decreasing. But overall, there is an increase in the number of engineering and technology students. Now, what is
Dr. Gupta,
not
can you
so?
hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, just a small suggestion. If you can just go to your share screen option in the bottom of your screen and you can see a share screen. Yeah, you just click that and then there's an entire screen. There you just have to click a box and then do share so the screen will come and we can see your slides then.
Okay.
Yeah, you simply go to share, then share screen. You can see entire screen is coming. You click that and then you click the share button. So then your slides will come full screen and we can see your changing slides as well then.
Okay. I had done it. So no, I think it is. Sorry, I think let me stop sharing.
You just have to go to share option on the bottom of your screen, then go to
Yeah, yeah,
share
no, no.
screen.
Yeah. So let me.
You can see entire screen, you are doing right. And then just click the entire screen box, and below that is a share option. Just click that share. That's it.
Can you now see?
No, sir, not yet.
Oh, this is all like we always have some technical issues. Let
Okay,
me.
no issue, sir. Then we can go ahead without the presentation and we can show it later. Not an issue, sir. You can go ahead with your speech, sir.
Okay. All right. I think let me. Yeah. Okay. I think I can speak without presentation. So anyway, so here's so in some areas India need to do a lot. So for example, in terms of the quality research papers, we are at the ninth position, and we need to work more on in this area. Similarly, we have a serious issue on the women participation in the science. So, right now, only 18.7% of women are in working in the R&D sector. This uh, share must go to 30% in next, suppose, 5 to 8 years. Similarly, in terms of resident patent filing, we are at ninth position. I think we need improvement in this area, but of course, we have improved a lot in last few years. In the area of global innovation index, we in fact had done well from 81st position in 2015 to 48th position now, but I think we have a long way to go to come in top 10. So therefore, there is something that we need to work on, and the new science and technology innovation policy and the national education policy put together can address this issue. Now, one area where we need, as I said, to work is the participation of women in the research. And there are several actions that we have contemplated as part of this thing. The major bottleneck for achieving the global leadership in research and innovation uh, by higher education institution, that actually includes some areas of concern. For example, the innovation has never been part of higher education system. We have a very typical syllabus-based education system where the students had to pass examination and then get the degree. But innovation has not been taught as a part of the higher education. This is there in the digital education policy also, and we are also putting it, in the STIP. Also, the skill development has never been integrated with the higher education system. Although now new education policy and some of the initiative of the government of higher education has brought skill development to the center stage of focus. Now, most of the R&D, most of the academic institution, I'm talking about the universities, both central and state universities, lack requisite R&D infrastructure. And this is, we have done a very detailed survey of this kind of instrument. And we do not have any kind of global benchmark. We do not touch those benchmarks. So therefore, this is the critical area that where we need to focus. Similarly, there is a total disconnect between education system and the industry, and so the connect is missing or totally inadequate. One of the areas that is very important and that has never been addressed, and our policy is bringing that issue, is the connect between the knowledge producer and knowledge consumers. They remain at a distance, and therefore that is why the university research is not going to the market, and they just remain at the academic level. Most of the private industries in the country, they are focusing on teaching because they mean business, and business will come from teaching. And so research and innovation always take a backseat in such universities. Now, what are the issues that science and technology innovation policy has addressed in these in this in this draft? So we have in fact certain issues that are very important and that get aligned with the national education policy include the following. For example, we are bringing an open access policy where the research data can be shared with all the researchers, including students, and these data should be available not only free of cost, but also it should be freely available, easily accessible to everybody. And we are bringing a big kind of policy intervention in this area. Also, the number of researchers is too small in the country. We have one of the lowest full-time equivalent researchers in the world. Uh, we need to increase this by at least 3 times in next 1 decade. Also, the private sector participation in the R&D is very low, and we need to increase at least double it in next 5 years or so. There has been less focus in the previous years on research student and young men. In last 6, 7 years, the government has worked very aggressively in promoting the research students and have initiated so many schemes. The scholarship scheme and fellowship scheme. This need to be again double. Uh, Ease of doing research is one area where all the researchers feel that it is very difficult to get money for research, and therefore the entire process is so cumbersome. Last 5 years, the science ministries have worked very hard on this and made things much easier. But I think we need something more. Now there is going to be a big kind of the change that needed for the country in the area of innovation system. We need virtual innovations apart from the physical innovation. We need innovation universities. Also, DST has proposed national R&D industry because there are R&D institutions which have enough and world globally best R&D infrastructure, but somehow they do not have any academic structure. So we are trying to provide academic structure to research R&D institution and convert them into a national R&D university. Innovation as part of education is very critical. I think we need to inculcate the kind of culture of innovation in the education system. These are the things that we need to change. Also, there is one area which has always been a gray area, is that the state participation in R&D has been very minimal. We would like state also. There is a big recommendation as part of the STIP that this state ecosystem, R&D ecosystem must get integrated with the central R&D system. And this is a big change that will impact the R&D in the country. Uh, Also, the collaboration with line ministries. In fact, the all the line ministries they are expected to have R&D component or especially STI component included, and we are particularly focusing on socio-economic ministries like agriculture, health, water, environment, and energy. So I think these are some issues that get connected and integrated and aligned with the national education policy and the the and science and technology innovation policy. I think I will stop here, and in case there are any question I can answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was Dr. Akhilesh Gupta, uh, Senior Advisor and Head STIP Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, for sharing his thought on the role of science, technology, and innovation policy in shaping research and innovation ecosystem of India's higher education institutions. Quite aptly, you have said that kind of difference new STIP policy is going to have on the ground for students, for researchers, for the higher education practitioners, and what kind of initiative being will be there in STIP policy when it's out formally. I know you have done a lot of work for this policy. You are part of the secretariat, and I'm sure that when the STIP policy comes out, it will be beneficial and it will be a game-changing thing for India's research ecosystem for generations to come. I beg your pardon. Thank you so much.